So today we are going to be talking about regret. There are some things in the van that I wish I had done differently. Some of these things I still can change. I don't know if I will. It's a possibility, but I don't know. Only time will tell. For starters, this is obviously my very first van, and I feel like when it comes to van life, your first van or your first vehicle, whatever the case may be, whether it's a car, a van, a bus, whatever, the first time that you build something out, it's not until it's done and you live in it that you really start to realize everything that you wish you would have done differently, things that you wish that you could change, just to make you a little bit more comfortable. So a lot of things that I thought that I was gonna need, I don't, and a lot of things that I focused on, I shouldn't have. For starters, I was very into the whole aesthetic part of the build, and I wanted it to have like a certain look and a certain feel, when in reality that's really not important, and that should be the last thing that you truly think about, because I have redecorated, I guess, so many times that was just never, it shouldn't have been a priority when I was in the building process. And so that is, for starters, one thing that I wish I hadn't focused so much on. Another thing that I should have thought a lot more about, that I downplayed a lot, that I regret, is storage, especially for my clothes. I feel like I have so many clothes, but at the same time I don't have a whole lot of clothes. I wish that I had given myself more storage and a little bit more organization when it came to that storage itself. I feel like everything that is in like the cabinets and stuff, everything's so cramped and it's kind of disorganized. It's just frustrating, and I'm constantly having to clean and reorganize all the time. Like I have so many, I keep all my clothes in this one area, and then I have a couple of little bins that I have clothes in that like are on my bed, and I wish that I had taken down all of the top around in here in the ceiling. I wish that I had taken all of that down and redid it. This is a totally huge, complete waste of space, and that may be something that this all may be something that I tear down in the future and redo a little bit better, because that's a complete waste of space. I could literally keep most of my clothes up there, and that would save me so much room for other things, including room on my bed, because I have those bins on my bed. And the same thing goes for this side behind the TV. I honestly wish that I wanted to move the TV over here in the corner of my bed, and I should have done it. I didn't do it per the advice of someone that, honestly, every time I listen to them, I always realize in the end I should just go with my gut and do what I want to do, because I always wind up regretting it. I wanted to move the TV. I didn't move the TV. I would probably use it more if I had. That's just not the case. But behind it, again, those two cubbies on the side are so small that it's just a bunch of wasted space. So I wish that I would have torn that all out, made that storage, would have saved me so much room, and I could be a lot more organized. And the same thing with these side panels. This one's actually kind of starting to come down on top, and the lights don't work. I think they somehow got disconnected. So all the lights on the top of these and on this one up here, they don't even work. If I had taken those down, I could have made little shelves, and again, the possibility for storage would go so much further than what it is. These are all things that I could still possibly change. It's just cosmetic stuff. That may be something that I do, because it would make a huge difference. Another thing too is, if I'm being 100% honest, I wish that I had not built this. I wish that I had left this open, or maybe built a small bench with storage underneath it. This is just so big and bulky. It serves a purpose, but I feel like it could have been built a little bit different. Not what it is. Like, I feel like it could have been something a little more practical. Like I said, maybe like a small bench with storage in it or something like that, so that I have a place to sit down and I don't have to use this stool constantly, because this stool gets in the way so much. There's so much limited space in here. I'm in a van. And the fact that I have a big dog with me, and she's a medium-sized dog, if she's not on the bed, she takes up the entire floor. And so like if she's chilling and laying down or sitting down, I always feel so bad if I need to get in a cabinet because I have to make her move. And it's just a hassle for me personally to have to basically, I guess I just don't have enough floor space to have a big dog that likes to lay out, you know? I mean, and when she sleeps on the bed, it's fine. Even with everything on there, I sleep comfortably with her and both cats on the bed with me. But when I built the van and finished it out, I didn't plan to take her on the road with me. So that was something that I couldn't necessarily consider when I was building the van, just because that wasn't even like a thought in my mind at the time. I will say that taking out the front seat up there was definitely a good thing. Again, I should have done it sooner, but I didn't, per the advice of someone that, you know, I feel like you should just always go with your gut. You know what you want, and usually you're pretty right when you listen to your instincts. And so I'm really glad that I wound up taking out the seat, but I do wish that I could have built a better storage system in that particular area for stuff. I feel like I could get a lot more use out of it if I built something. I wish I could take the litter box and put it up there in some type of like storage compartment as opposed to having it back there. I wish that I could keep the basement, is what they call it. I wish that I could keep that solely for stuff that I don't necessarily need to get to often, like the cat stroller, my solar panels, my lawn chair, stuff like that I don't necessarily need as often as I do say like cleaning the litter box, and there's so much room in the back and all I have back there's a litter box and a few small things. So that's just another thing that I wish that I could have done differently. And at this point I still can build something, and I may do that in the future. I may wind up kind of redoing everything a little bit in the future, but that's still just a possibility. I'm not sure if that's something that I will wind up doing anytime soon. Any advice that I could give anyone who is about to start a build, or they're currently in a build, or they're just thinking about doing van life in general, or any type of life similar to this, I do recommend, or I do want to say, don't overthink it. I watched so many van life videos and everyone makes it look so glamorous and like it's so beautiful, and I love that. I love looking at pictures and stuff. It's just when you're actually living it, there's so many things that you don't think about when you're looking at stuff like that. So that's something that now when I see someone's layout, I'm thinking like, well, if that was my layout, where would I put this? Where would I put that? What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? And so different, and it's hard to say like don't overthink it, because you're probably going to, but really think about the little details that are really going to make a difference. For instance, like what are the things that you use every single day? Like for me, it's, you know, my face wash, my contacts, contact solution, makeup wipe removers. Like these are things that I need accessible like very often. And where are you gonna put them? I wish that I had like shelves so I could put books on them. Like I wish that this counter space could be just completely cleared, which it could if I had built out the van the way I wanted to in the first place. I was so conflicted because it would have been so much more work, but at the same it's like once you get halfway through the build, you start slacking and you're like, okay, well, what can I do instead of having to do this all again? And so like this side of the wall, I did the map and stuff, and I thought it would be cool, and I'm sure it would have been really cool, but the way that I did it, it just didn't turn out how I wanted it to, and I wish I would have just done cedar. I wish I would have ripped out everything and gutted it completely and did the storage a little bit differently. So those are some major things that I regret in this van build that I would have done differently. I mean, for the moment, currently, I am happy with how it's turned out, and I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm super grateful for the van itself and just everything that I've been able to do thus far. These are just things that if you are in this situation or you're thinking about doing van life, these are just some things that would have made a difference for me had I done it a little bit differently. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I will do my best to respond to everyone who asks a question. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And I'm trying to post as often as I can, and I want to go live a little more often, maybe 1 or 2 times a week. So if you guys want to come hang out with me when I go live, please feel free to do so. I usually post on my Instagram if I'm gonna go live. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me, is through Instagram versus any other social media platform. You can find me at jaylenadunn. All my information is in the description below. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Slacking and you're like, okay, well, what can I do instead of having to do this all again? And so like this side of the wall, I did the map and stuff, and I thought it would be cool, and I'm sure it would have been really cool, but the way that I did it, it just didn't turn out how I wanted it to. And I wish I would have just done cedar. I wish I would have ripped out everything and gutted it completely and did the storage a little bit differently. So those are some major things that I regret in this van build that I would have done differently. I mean, for the moment, currently, I am happy with how it's turned out, and I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm super grateful for the van itself and just everything that I've been able to do thus far. These are just things that if you are in this situation or you're thinking about doing van life, these are just some things that would have made a difference for me had I done it a little bit differently. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and I will do my best to respond to everyone who asks a question. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And I'm trying to post as often as I can, and I want to go live a little more often, maybe 1 or 2 times a week. So if you guys want to come hang out with me when I go live, please feel free to do so. I usually post on my Instagram if I'm gonna go live. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me, is through Instagram versus any other social media platform. You can find me at jaylenadunn. Not the link, but all my information is in the description below. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video.